welcome. Have a seat. And, okay, honorable members, our secretariat, want to begin our today's session. And before, I'd like us to start by a word of prayer. Let's bow down for a word of prayer. Almighty God, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor and blessings as your servant whom you have been pleased to call to leadership position in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that come under our deliberation in just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our church. Amen. Thank you. Welcome, Vincent. I'd like to ask Secretariat, headed by the legal officer, to administer the oath to the nominee.
I, Vincent Bii, do hereby swear that all the information that I shall give or say before this committee shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. So sit yourself comfortable, and once you are comfortable, you'll notify us so that we proceed. Are you okay? So, honorable members, we'll start by introduction, and I'll ask honorable members to introduce themselves. I'll start from my extreme right.
Good morning and welcome, Mr. B. My name is Eric B. from Kabli Lartin Ward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Vincent. My name is Bavina Serem, nominated MCA, and I'm a member of this committee. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. As other honorable members from to the committee, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair. My name is David Maritim, MCA Gypsy Onward, a friend to this committee. Vincent, welcome.
Thank you so much, Chairman. My name is Francis Terer, a friend to this committee. Welcome, Mr. Vincent B.
Thank you, Vice Chair.
Good morning, Vincent. Karibu.
Good morning.
My name is Dominic Mutai, member of the committee.
Thank you. Our Secretariat, please introduce yourself.
Okay, good morning. My name is William Thaler. I'm the committee clerk for this committee. Karibu.
My name is Priska Mosonik, PR officer.
Good morning, my name is Renis Chapunatich, PRO.
Good morning, my name is Justus Maritim, Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you. My name too is Esron Kimyanangetich, representing the great people of Chilchila, chairman to this committee. Welcome, nominee. So I'll give you an opportunity. As you are introducing yourself, I would like you to submit your original documents, starting from your ID, academic, all academic documents, forwarding letter from a nominating authority or an organization. Secondly, you'll forward a proof of business ownership within the municipality, or a proof of any ownership of any business, or proof of being a resident from within the municipality. After doing that, I'll give you an opportunity to introduce yourself fully, and then you will take us through your academic journey, work experience, and then I'll So the floor is yours. Take the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Vincent Bii. I was born and bred in Kapsoit. I come from Kapsoit Ward, Telanet location. I was born way back in 1971. And my first schooling was at Telanet Primary School, where I did my CPE those days. It was Certificate of Primary Education. Then proceeded to Kapsoit Secondary School, where I also did my certificate, KCE certificate. I passed and went to Kericho High School, where I did my A-levels. After that, I joined Egerton University and got my first degree. That was in 1994. And then later on in life, I also went to University of Nairobi for my second degree and graduated with an MBA in finance. My first degree is a bachelor's in economics from Egerton University. In between, I've also done some other courses. I did a marketing certificate, a practitioner certificate in marketing with the Marketing Society of Kenya. I've also done other short courses where I was working before. I'm also an accredited social accountability consultant. Thank you.
Work experience?
In terms of work experience, I started by working with Unilever Kenya. That was in 1995. I worked for a period of 5 years before joining Premier Dairies and Lelkina Dairies thereafter. But in 2004, I went to the NGO sector, where I worked for TechnoServe International. That is an American international NGO. It was a contract of 1 year. Then I went back to the private sector and joined Growfin Kenya Limited, which is an international venture capital company based in South Africa. That was immediately after my working with TechnoServe. And this was more so about lending. This is a finance company. I worked there for 5 years. Then joined USAID organization called CNFA. That was now again back to the NGO sector. So I worked for CNFA for a period of 3 years and joined another USAID organization also called Land O'Lakes, where I worked for 5 years. Those were contract basis jobs in the NGO sector until 2017. So I worked for USAID for a period of 10 years, 8 years, 3 plus 5, and the earlier experience. Thereafter, I went into the consulting industry, and I've been consulting for USAID since 2017 until the other day, 2022. I'm also still doing some on-off consultancies. Currently, I do a consultancy with Euro Exim Bank, which is based in USA, in trade finance. So that is a bit of my experience, my work experience.
Thank you. Do you have any honors and awards?
Come again?
Any honors and awards during your career life?
Yes, I do, mainly in the NGO sector. A grant specialist for USAID, and I've done several courses and gotten several other honors, and I have them with me here.
You will forward, Sergeant Nata. Please, yes, proceed.
Yes, those
Proceed.
are my honors.
Okay. Are you a member of any professional association?
Yes, I'm a member of the Marketing Society of Kenya, and I've presented as a certificate there. Yeah.
For one to be nominated or to be appointed to be a municipal board member, the Act stipulates that one, he or she, should be sponsored by an association or an organization. So in that regard, are you a member, are you a member of any organization or association?
I'm a member of Kericho Business Organization, but I came here as a governor's nominee.
Okay.
Yes.
But you are a registered member of a business, Nini?
Correct.
Okay. Do you have a proof of the same?
Not here, but I can bring that later.
Okay.
Yes.
Before the close of business or by?
Yes.
Okay, please do.
Yeah.
My second question, have you list chronologically any public offices you have held or are currently holding, including the terms of service and whether such position were elected or appointed? So most of what you have said, you are appointed, right? Okay.
Employed.
Employed.
Yes.
Do you foresee any potential conflict of interest over the appointment you have been nominated to?
I don't see any potential conflict of interest at all. In terms of public positions that I've held, other than BOM for Kapsoit Secondary School and Moisit Otwit Secondary School, which is the most recent, I don't have any other at the moment.
On your earlier introduction, you said you are coming from Kapsoit Telanet, right?
Yes.
Do you know the CC in charge of lands?
Yes, I do.
Who is he?
I think his name is Brian Langat.
Where is he coming from?
He also comes from, I think I would say the extended Telanet location. So he comes from the same location as I do, and still Kapsoit ward.
So, in short, you are coming from same village?
It is not the same village per se.
Same location?
Same location. My village is called Sosit.
So you coming from same village, you cannot foresee any?
I do not foresee any conflict of interest coming from the same location, but different villages. And I think that will not also mean we cannot be able to work together.
In any case, you will see, maybe he will call you and maybe transact maybe a business or anything which might bring upon potential conflict of interest. How will you handle it?
I want to believe, Chair, that the business that we will be transacted by several board members as opposed to just me alone. And the fact that we are coming from the same location, not the same village, coming from the same county, we should be able to work together in harmony and actually do much better for the county because of that, as opposed to a conflict of interest.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a likely event, what do we circumnavigate over the issue?
In a likely event, I will declare my interest. I also want to believe he will declare his interest if there is anything that requires the two of us to work together, and especially coming from the same location.
Thank you. Yeah. Are you a member or affiliated to any political party or political activities?
I am not affiliated to any political activities, but I'm a UDA member.
Thank you. Do you have any pro bono or charity work or donation you have ever done or you are anticipating to?
I only contribute to charity as a person, but I do not do pro bono work personally, and I don't have any charitable organization.
Good. Do you have any publishment, or have you done any published any writings in your span of career?
Other than my thesis and my conference materials and my reports at work, I haven't done actively any publishing.
Okay. I'd like to ask Member Bafina to ask from question number 7, and cham number 8, you go to number
9. Vincent, I'll ask you the 2 questions. Maybe you kindly state your net worth, and you tell us if you have ever been charged in a court of law.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Bavina, through the Chair. First, I've never been charged in any court of law. My net worth is around 140 million.
Can you be able to break down?
Yes, I can. One, I own some town plots, which I estimate to be around 40 million, both within Kericho town and Kapsoit. I also have a residential home, plus some agricultural farms, which I estimate to be around 45 million. I own some motor vehicles, estimated value of around 12 million. I own some buildings, which I also estimate to be around 25 million.
Or the town plots, are they developed?
3 of them are developed, and estimated value of around 25, 30 million.
Gotcha. That's it. Okay, so maybe I'll ask Honorable, before I ask Honorable Rigby to ask question, we were joined by another member who had not introduced himself. So I'll ask Honorable Member at my extreme left to introduce himself.
Thank you very much, Chairman. My names are Vincent Kirui, representing the great people of Litain Ward. Welcome.
Thank you. So I'll go straight to my extreme right and allow Honorable Member representing the great people of Kaple-Lartet to ask some question. Then I'll direct.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. And once again, welcome, B. My question is that first, as a municipal board member, what are the requirements? If you are aware of the requirements to be a board member, that is one. Are you aware of any act which govern the municipal board to be in place? Number 3, Mr. B, there have been a lot of donation, millions of money granted to the municipality in terms of development from the donor fund, and we've heard that there is no great improvement in our county compared to other counties, because they are getting this donation from donor fund, and being a nominee, given a chance to be the municipal board member, what is that thing you'll bring which will be impactful to our municipal board? As you are aware that the municipality is within Kapsoit, from Kapsoit to this area to Kericho. So I need you to bring us what is that great thing you could do to improve our Kericho Municipal. And bear in mind that we have cabbages everywhere. We have what's called street lights. And we've never felt these millions of money granted to the municipality. Can you briefly explain to us, take us into steps you are going to put in place all those measures which will improve our municipality? Thank you. Sure.
Thank you, member, through the chair. Let me address your first question on the requirements to be a nominee. I want to believe that one of the requirements is that you must be a resident within the municipality, which I am. You must also be carrying out business within the municipality, which I am. I currently have a business at Kapsoit, and I've given you a copy of my previous license. I run several businesses, 3 of them to be very specific. So I want to believe that one justifies my nomination. I also want to believe that you have to have had some post-secondary education, which I do. And you have my certificates there with you. So yes, I think I'm properly nominated to be a member of the municipal board. Number 2, you asked whether I'm aware of any act. I think there is the Urban Cities and Municipal Acts which govern the municipal board. And then I think your third question, if I am not wrong, was on issues about donations from various donors to the municipality. And you are saying that you have not been able to see any impact of those donations. It has not been felt by the municipal residents of Kericho. And the question is, what do I intend to do to make that difference and to get it felt? Am I correct? Yeah. First of all, I want to believe that, let me say, I may not be privy to how these funds were being administered before, but I want to say, if given this opportunity, one of the issues that I will bring on board is the issue of accountability. I know this money comes in, and we have to be accountable to the donor and to be accountable to the municipality and the residents of the municipality on how we utilize this funding that is coming from donors. So I'll bring in that particular aspect of accountability. Number 2, issue of planning and prioritization. I want to believe that when funding comes through, most of the things that are required of the implementer have been identified. So it is now upon us to prioritize. If it is, for example, street lighting, if it is
If that is the case, what plan do you have as the board and the strategy you'll put. Because we must start somewhere to become a city in the near future. If you walk around other cities or other municipalities within the region, you'll see the beautification and the environment, the way it's looked. I know you are a resident of this the town or the municipality. You said you come from Kapsoit. If you walk around the park street of Kapsoit, do Kapsoit qualify to be called a municipality? The same case to another town near this municipality, near this town, Kapsuser. I hope if this house approves you as the board member of the municipality, try to walk around the park street of this town. I had some visitors from India 2 days ago. They were telling me this is a green town. But in essence, it is green, but it's not beautiful. Maybe the green of the nature, which we thank God for making it green and good, and the oxygen is clean. If you move around going to the North Drift, you see some signages branding themselves, calling the town the home of Cham Jones. If you approach Kericho from any direction, maybe from this side of Nakuru, you don't feel there is no branding. As the board, what plans do you have to brand this town? There is a big issue of my colleague have asked you about the lightening, the street lights and the garbage issue. If you walk again at the back of part of this town, it is stingy. What are your plans? Some other towns have walkways, neat paved walkways. In some other town where they have athlete, we have athlete around our place. We go to this direction of Brook. Even Brook is within municipality. But if you see the way it does, the way the arrangement even for fenders, you see the what do you call the I don't the name near the highway. So what plans do you have in such towns to improve the walkway where we have athletes, they can even run, even our students going or the people going to school can have a walkway, a safe walkway to walk to school and back. Otherwise, thank you, Chair.
Maybe P, you can answer before I give an opportunity to other honorable members.
Thank you, Chairman. I think I have around 4 or 5 questions in one. And the number 1 question was whether we will have Kericho become a city in the future. I truly believe that Kericho can be a city in the future. I know one of the things that will make Kericho to be a city would be the population. I think there's a cut-off population of around 250,000. For a town or a municipality to be made a city. I want to believe in future we can get there. That is number 1. I also want to believe that with the kind of services that Kericho is providing, if we improve, we should be able to get there as a city. So first of all, as a board, we will want to put those in place. For example, we need to have an airport. We need to be providing first-class refuse collection, have good water and drainage systems in the town, so that by the time that we are being vetted to be a city, we qualify. So yes, Kericho can become a city. It may do that in a few years' time, provided that we are able to sustain services that are required for a town to become a city. Because I want to believe that when we apply, we will have a committee that will come and look into this. So yes, we can. I believe we can. Your second question was on beautification of the town. And more particularly, you're asking whether Kapsoit or Kapsuser qualifies to be in the municipality. Yes, it does qualify to be in the municipality. Of course, the kind of services that are being provided in these two towns are not really up to standard, but we want to believe that as a board, if I also get to the board, we should be able to improve on the services, more particularly issues about refuse collection, drainage of those particular towns. We have the capacity to improve. I know it may not meet the standards now, but as a board, we will want to take it a notch higher. By virtue of it being within the municipality, courtesy of the boundaries of the municipality, they do qualify. We can have, for example, some committees for these particular towns. If the county assembly will agree with us, we will propose so that we have town managers who their work on a daily basis is to ensure that these particular towns are kept clean and they can have better services from the municipal board of Kericho. So yes, we will go ahead and provide those suggestions to the county government and to the county assembly. Your other question was on branding and signages. I totally agree with you that Kericho is not a branded town. I know Kapsabet is branded, Uasin Gishu, that is Eldoret, is branded, but we have a rich heritage of tea in Kericho. As one of the board members, I will propose that we brand Kericho, and most likely, I think the first branding should automatically be about our tea, the home of tea, the origin of tea in the world. I want to believe that we qualify to do that kind of branding, but then we will have various strategies to do that so that it goes out as a strong brand and us being able to market it both nationally and internationally. So with the support and assistance of the county government and the county assembly, the board will go ahead and market Kericho as the home of tea or the origin of tea. We will do appropriate branding where necessary. And that is not the only branding that we can be able to do. We will consult and agree on a way forward on that. Your last question was on the what plans do I have for streetlights, walkways, garbage collection, issues about vendors. I want to believe that all this is about planning and agreeing on a way forward. When we talk about walkways, I totally agree with you. We should be having a walkway all the way from Brook to town for people who are living in that side of the town. They should be able to come cycling or walking on a paved or a cabro kind of pathway. And that one also announces the fact that you are actually getting into Kericho and gives us some facelift. And it gives us some kind of advertisement and branding to the town that you are getting into a clean, green town. Not everyone can be able to drive from Brook or from Kapsoit or from Kapsusir, but people can be able to walk in a manner, in a peaceful manner, and without being, for example, knocked down by vehicles when they are walking on the side of the roads, on the side of the paved roads. We can actually do some cabro. If not even to Kapsusir, maybe to around the low courts or Kipsigis area. We can be able to do to Brook. We can be able to do to some cabros all the way to Kapketienya. Yes, where there is the residential area, the big residential areas. In terms of back streets, let me talk about the streets in town. We can also be able to do some non-motorable streets in town. I have in mind, for example, the street between Gokul Hardware, around Kericho there, all the way to areas of, all the way to around Quickmart, we can be able to do a one street where you don't allow any motorized vehicle or border borders, for example, but you allow pedestrians to be able to walk there. You allow, for example, even vendors to come and display their wares on particular days of the week without being harassed, so that we remove vendors from other sections of the town and make the town clean. On issues about streetlights, I'm aware, for example, that at 7 in the evening, this town is very dark. And it is very dark because we do not have streetlights. So one of the priority areas for the municipal board will be to have streetlights in place and to have ownership of these streetlights by the employees of the municipal board and with the relevant departments of the county government, so that at all times these streetlights are working and the town is well lit. This will go a long way in making this town to be a 24-hour town. So I want to believe that this is possible, and with the board, I want to believe we can be able to discuss, put some suggestions, put some budget, and bring it forth so that it can be approved and we implement these ideas. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, I've rejoined on the same. I'm very concerned about the cabbage. As a resident of this municipality, do you know where we dispose our cabbages, or when you collect these cabbage within Kericho town? Are you aware where we dispose? And since you are aware, do you like the place where we dispose those cabbages? And if not, or you like it, what are the plans? Because you've heard in the evening when it rains, all the town is badly polluted. So what are the plans, given a chance to be municipal board member? What are your plans? Do you think we can still have a cabbage collection center within town, or do you have any other plans? Number two, have you gone to Kisumu or Nakuru? Have you seen those adverts? Do you think we can have an advert going on, giving out the presentation of our county through videos or such like things? I don't know whether you like it or you will not believe with us. And if so, what are your plans, given a chance to work within municipal as a board member? Thank you.
Thank you, member, through the chair. Let me address the first issue on garbage collection. I'm aware garbage collection has not been very good in Kericho town. I'm also aware there's a dump site in Kericho, which is not very appealing. It is not very good.
Which area? Which area in town?
This is the area is around the ministry, after the Ministry of Works. I want to believe that is where you are referring to, just before the National Cereals and Produce Board. It is not an appealing site, and it is not a good site. So I think we will need to have a proper dumping site, and the board will prioritize this as one of the first issues to be attended to. We will be looking at acquiring a new site outside town, and with sufficient funding, and with the permission of the county assembly and the county government. I think this is possible to plan and have a proper dump site. And where possible, even the current dump site can actually be made better. So we can have two, but the best is relocating the dump site out of the city, out of the town. You asked about
maybe
adverts.
Maybe follow up. What's your opinion apart from relocating of the dumping site? What's your other alternative source of addressing the solid waste?
Thank you, Chair. My opinion on solid waste management is that we need to have a different site, and preferably out of town. And this will mean or will call for sufficient funding from the municipal board with the approval of the county assembly and the county government. It may be a long-term thing to do, but it should be done. So I truly believe that we need to have it out of town. We need to have proper solid waste management. And one of the things to do is to approach donors to do that, which I believe the municipal board can be able to do with the approval of the county assembly and the county government.
Can recycling be one of our target destination in future? Can it be achievable?
Yes, recycling is actually one of the top issues of a solid waste management strategy. So I believe with the help of the county government and even the national government, we can be able to do a recycling plant within Kericho. And we should be able to look at how other cities, not only in Kenya, but even in internationally, have done their solid waste management. But recycling is one of the best things to do. And
so in your opinion, between relocation of the dump site and recycling, if you will get resources, which would be your top priority number one in either of the two?
Recycling will be a top priority if we get funding. And I want to believe that funding can actually come either from our donors, from the county government, or even the national government. Yeah.
Thank you. So before you continue proceeding with your other questions, we have been joined by honorable member. So maybe you can introduce himself first, please.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I'm Korir Matthew, MCHI Code, member to this committee. Congratulations, Vincent. A rejoinder on the same issue to do with the dump site. Are you aware that we only have one dump site in Kericho County? In fact, those who are collecting garbage collection from Sondu, Kapkatet, Londiani, they are all bringing their waste, solid waste, to Kericho town. How will you advise this county government, and especially you working in municipal, if approved by this committee, how will you improve and get other dump sites outside this town? Another thing is that 2 years down the line, we had a partner who wanted to do a recycle of waste, solid waste, but during that time, maybe the county government were reluctant to do partnership with them. How would you work to get the PPP, that is public-private partnership, in terms of improving our county? If we want this county to be, if we want this town to be a city, I think one, we need to have more infrastructure in place. So you being now nominated to this position as the municipal member, how will you advise the county government and improve these infrastructures that we have within Kericho town? Another question is that we have a poor drainage in Kericho town. How will you work? Because at some point we had a funding from World Bank, and we can say we are under a lot of pressure from the public that drainage is not working. How will you confirm that any resources that is being funded to municipality, it will be utilized in a proper manner, and we will get the benefits of the funds that is funded through these organizations?
You can react together with, if you have not finished the initial question, please.
Thank you, Chair. The last question from one of the members was on Kisumu Nakuru adverts and videos. and what I think about it, my opinion is that that is the way to go. They are good videos. They advertise and brand the town properly. And I think we can be able to do that. One of the functions of the municipal board is to regulate the outdoor advertising. And I want to believe that we can, as a board, if I am, as I am nominated, if I am confirmed, we should be able to follow up on that. On the issue of one dump site, yes, correct, I'm aware that there's one. Came in, I was just mentioning to one of the members the location of the current dump site and that it is not appealing. One of the things that I proposed was that we should be able to get other dump sites out of town, out of Kericho town. So I want to believe that, given that this committee is also aware that we need to have various other dump sites out of town, there will be not much resistance to us, if I am in the board, to our suggestion to get other dump sites out of town. Sondu is a very far place to go and collect refuse, all the way to bring it to Kericho town. We can put one other dump site maybe in Kiptere, Sosiot, but wherever. So yes, I believe we should be having more than 3 dump sites, or a minimum of 3 dump sites in Kericho, to allow us to be efficient and effective in collecting refuse and garbage. You also mentioned about PPPs. Yes, we should be able to, it's one of the functions of the municipal board to actually liaise with the residents of the municipality and sensitize, inform them, and get their approval of projects that the municipal board needs to implement together with the county government. As a board, we will take this to the people. We will ensure we have various meetings in various places within the municipality for them to approve. And my advice is that we will need to upgrade various infrastructures within the municipality so that it allows, for example, one, for quick emergency response, like, for example, the fire station. I'm aware there is one that has been built around Kapsuser area. As to how and whether it is working, I know it is not really very efficient. I know it is working, but it may not be very efficient. I'm also aware that there has been a push and pull between some 2 departments on the ownership of that and on the human resource that is working there. And we want, as a board, to say we will prioritize talking to the 2 departments so that one of them can actually own the project. In terms of drainage, we will also want to propose that we will quickly and immediately, when we get into work, address the issue of poor drainage in Kericho town and liaise with the donors, the current donors and even future donors, on the improvement of the same. Lastly, on the issue of partnership with the donors to do a recycling plant, I think that was a recycling plant that you mentioned, member. Let me believe that it is still an option to talk to the donor who pulled out. If it is not an option, we will look for a new donor. Thank you.
Hope honorable members you are satisfied. Yeah, maybe Honorable Pafina, take the floor.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Vincent, the county government has set up a fire station, but the same has not been operationalized. Apparently, there are issues on who should handle the docket, and the public service management and the lands department have not clearly gave out a policy on the same. As a board, how do you plan to make the response to fire incidences prompt? Another question, Vincent. We have street children loitering around within the municipality. What's your suggestion on how we should maybe handle the issue? Another issue is insecurity. within the municipality. How do you ensure that our business people are run without any fear of attacks or robberies within the municipality? I know you don't work for the security agencies, but what's your suggestion as a member of the board? What's your suggestion on how we should curb this menace of insecurity within the municipality?
Thank you, Bavina, through the chair. You are correct. I was alluding to the fact that the Department of Public Service and Lands and Physical Planning have not been able to give a policy guideline on how the fire station should actually work. As a board member within the municipal board, one of the issues that I will actually be following up on is consultation between the two departments and an agreement on who between the two departments should actually be in charge of the fire station. Once this has been agreed, I don't see a reason why the fire station cannot work. And issues about command, you certainly, the employees certainly have a problem also. They don't know whom they are reporting to.
Maybe knowing the functions of the municipal board, in your opinion, who do you think should be handling the docket?
Without prejudice, I think the lands department should be handling the docket. And if then that is the case, it follows that even the municipal board is under the ministry, is under the Department of Lands, and therefore the municipal manager and employees should be the ones who should be looking or taking care of the fire station, and the employee should be reporting to them. I may be right, I may be wrong.
About about now, you have said the Department of Land under the municipal should be the one managing and commanding the fire station and fire engine. About areas which are outside the municipality, or which areas which are not covered with municipality?
I want to believe that the Department of Lands and Physical Planning is in charge of all matters within the county government of Kericho. So if it falls under that, then it means even the Department of Lands and Physical Planning should be able to appoint, maybe through the Public Service Board, a manager of the fire station who will be responsible for the entire county. But within the municipality, even the municipal manager should be able to take care of that.
Thank you for your trial. Maybe so that we cannot let that off to the record or answered. Maybe if you will be appointed, maybe as a municipal, either the two municipalities, you should be managing and owning your own fire station and your own fire engine within the municipality, and then the other to do with public service management. Maybe there should be a seamless correlation between the both department, the PSM and the lands, so that that is proper coordination and response. So proceed.
Correct, Chair. And maybe additionally, I might want to say we should actually be having not less than 3 fire stations within the county. And some of them will fall under the PSM, some will fall under the municipality. Thank you. On the issue of street children, I want to believe that these are, I know it is a menace, but it is something that we have to live with and address. So I want to believe that we can take them to rehabilitation centers. We can also empower them by ensuring that they also go to schools if they are of school-going age, and we give those who are beyond school-going age something to do so that they don't get to the streets. We may not be able to eliminate this, but we can manage it every now and then. So it is a continuous exercise, and I want to believe that the board can also provide other ways of managing the same, other than rehabilitation, ensuring they go to school, ensuring they have something to do. We can incorporate them, for example, even on issues like kazi kwa vijana, refuse collection, garbage collection, so that they have something to earn and they don't become a menace. So we will be proposing those kind of strategies. On insecurity, insecurity normally comes about when there is no proper street lighting within towns and police patrols. So as I had earlier said, we will have street lighting within the municipality as our challenge number one when I get to the board. We will also work together with the police, with the security department within the town to ensure that we have enough patrols within the town and ensure that we reduce crime rate in town. Other than that, I know there are areas where there is a lot of concentration on poor, let me say, poor urban roads. I'm talking about areas like Mujini, Nyagacho. There are some areas which are inaccessible. We will want to ensure that those kind of areas have some good accessibility so that even our security people can be able to move around with quickly, respond quickly to issues of crimes. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you sufficiently responded to? Okay, so Mheshimiwa Matthew, please take the floor.
Chair, I have a question, and also I want the nominee to tell this committee, what will you do in this municipality? Because one, we have a number of private investors who have encroached and snatched public land. One, we have some roads that when you access at the moment, there are some buildings on the top. When you go next to NSPSI, we have a true road that was going through Mujini and then Nyagacho. Kindly tell us, what will you do to ensure these private investors also respect the demarcated roads for public use? Another thing, we have an issue that was called for, by the president, that we need to expand this town, and automatically we will expand either towards sides to Kefogo or Chelimo area. At the moment, we have been told that there are some people who are registering themselves as the squatters. What will you do to ensure this issue, Kefogo land or Chelimo land, is settled so that when the county government is trying to expand this town, we will be able to get ample service and ample ground also to develop. Vincent, in this town, business normally ends at 8. What will you do so that we improve this town to 24 hours economy? Because one, whenever you look for some place even to take a meal at 11 p.m., you will not get a good place. What will you do as a nominee to this docket to improve municipality if this committee approved you? So another thing is that we have a market that was constructed by the municipality and the lands department. But according to me, it has taken long. What will you do to ensure that all projects started under municipality is complete and complete to the standard that was supposed to be done too? And also, I've had honorable members here asking you about the fire station and fire engine. One of the contractor was given a contract to construct and supply 2 or fire engines. But how will you confirm to this committee that if given this opportunity, you will go to the details of the state contract and confirm that all that was supposed to be done was implemented accordingly? So those are my questions. One is the expansion of the town. Two, the encouragement of the lands that was supposed to be used for the roads, for the playing grounds, for the hospital, and for even the schools, for the ECD classrooms. So kindly confirm to this committee, how will you improve and how will you make that these private investors also return back the government land to be used for the expansion of this town.
So, Vincent, you will try to respond and use the time, shortest time possible, because we are almost late as per our schedule, so that we allow the honorable member to ask questions. So use the shortest time possible.
Thank you, Chair. Let me respond to the issue of private investors encroaching public land. Let me say public land in respect to hospitals, playing grounds, and even roads. The municipal board falls under the Ministry of Lands and Planning. And the Department of Lands and Planning have the authority to revoke any title in consultation with the national government. I want to say this, and especially on issues about encroachment. I know people may come and say we have a title to this particular plot. The question then that we will be asking as a board, and in support, with the support of the Department of Lands and Physical Planning, is, was this land available in the first place for allocation to the people who are claiming to be having a title? If the answer is yes, then unfortunately we may not have leeway to cancel those titles. But in most cases, the answer is no. So the Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning should be able to cancel those titles, and it is not a request, because in any case, that particular land that they've fenced off, and you are talking about NSPSI, for example, was public land. It was a road. So they do not have any authority to actually occupy that piece of land. And of course, I know there is also an integrated development plan that has been there, and we will follow that and ensure that we get the support of the Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning to implement. On issue of expansion of town, you mentioned Kevogo and Chelimo. It still boils down to the same issue of revocation of title deed. Those particular pieces of land belongs to the county government, and if they were marked as land that is for public, for particular use, maybe a hospital, it means it was not available for allocation to the public or to the private investors, and therefore it can easily be cancelled. It is only a matter of the county government, the goodwill of the county government, to write to the Ministry of Lands in Nairobi for cancellation of those titles. Your other question, business that ends at 8 p.m. in this town. I want to believe that we will, as a board, intentionally want to promote business to continue even up to midnight by using various strategies. One of them is, for example, intentionally setting aside designated areas for businesses. I mentioned earlier, I don't know whether you had come in or not, the street between Gokul Hardware all the way up to Quickmart Supermarket and Shell Petrol Station, that entire street. If we can mark it as a non-motorized area and pave it properly and have vendors sell their wares there and put strong lighting street lights there, then we can have people doing business all the way up to midnight. The area around on your way to Nyagacho, there is this supermarket here. We can be able to intentionally ask them to open until late. There is the area around Total Petrol Station and Mwananchi. That we can designate as a 24-hour economy area and have proper lighting in those sites. And we should be able to, with the residents, we should be able to talk, consult, agree on the opening and closing times of those businesses. So we will intentionally want to promote that. On the issue of market that has been constructed and it has taken long, we will, as a board, we will look into it and see whether the funding is still in place. If it's still in place, who is the contractor? And if the contractor is on site, what are the challenges we should be able to address? I want to believe we can consult and agree on a way forward, unless the funding has been exhausted. Because in most cases, those kind of projects toll when you pay the contractor before the contractor finalizes the work. It's a similar issue on the fire stations, where the contractor was supposed to provide 2 fire engines. We will inquire and report back to this committee. If we find that, for example, the contractor was paid and he has not delivered, we should be able to surcharge the contractor. If he has not done so and he has not been paid, we will encourage the contractor to finish the work and to supply the 2 fire engines. Thank you.
Honorable Vincent.
Thank you very much, Chair. I have some few questions to ask Mr. Vincent. One, the county government recently rolled out a youth empowerment exercise through the Department of Lands and Housing. Physical planning, tasks with carrying out cleaning of centers within the municipalities of Kericho County. As a board, how will you ensure there is sustainability and fairness? Another question, drainage is a cross-cutting issue. It touches on the Department of Water, Roads and Lands, and physical planning. As a board, how do you plan to bring the synergy in the municipalities you will be running, and what plans do you have to see it that there is proper management of storm water and drainages? And the last question is, how do you plan to turn around the public gardens like Moi Gardens, Uru Gardens, to the revenue streams, just as Municipal Board of Machakos did with the Machakos People's Park?
Yeah, please brush and then use the shortest time possible.
Thank you, Chair. Let me respond to question number 1 on the issues of youth empowerment about sustainability and fairness. I think this calls for resident participation in recruitment and even in management of the youth empowerment program. So I want to believe that as a board, we should be able, for example, if we are saying we want to have such a program in Litein, we get a public participation exercise in Litein. We employ people who are based in Litein. I'm using Litein. I know there's a Litein Municipal Board, but as an example, if it is Kapsoit, the same. And we ensure that the people who are recruited, the supervisors and the people who are working there, are from the area, from the locality. So we get a buy-in from the locality, from the local residents for sustainability. Otherwise, you will find that there will be challenges. People will be talking about you've brought in some new people whom they do not even recognize. And then going forward, this kind of exercises could be done every quarter. Funding available, of course. If it is available, then designated number of days in a week, so that we have it as a sustainable program throughout the year and maybe for several years. Also get maybe donors who can be able to fund the same every other time that we are doing those programs. Then number 2, on issue of drainage, as a cross-cutting issue between the Ministry of Water and Lands. Yes, it is correct. And to synergize this, I think the 2 departments should actually be able to plan together, work together, and implement together issues about drainage and water. And the board, as a municipal board, we should be able to see that the 2 departments are always working with us to implement this and also allocate funds for the same. That is the only way we can be able to have proper management of the drainage system in town. Then lastly, on issues of public gardens, I think we should be able to implement, put in place measures to ensure that we have various recreational facilities within the public gardens. We should also be able to have various services within the gardens that are being provided by either the public sector or the private sector for the betterment of, for the use of the residents of the area, and promote the issue of pay for use so that it is sustainable into the future. We ensure it generates some income. Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. P. On your submission, and on your, when we ask you for relevant document, when we went through, we didn't see a copy of clearance from KRA, which is a personal TCC, tax comply. Is there, so you'll show the secretariat, and then clearance certificate from police, and then we didn't see your CRP certificate. So final question before we bring this to conclusion is that will you be having any issue if we will contact one of your referees for clarification in one or two things? Number two is, can we have one or two referees which are not your relatives or friends who knows you well, whom we can contact for the same?
Thank you, Chair. I will not have a problem if you contacted my referees. The referees are indicated in my CV, which I have. I want to believe you have one copy, but I will also leave another copy. I have an extra copy here.
Collect.
And I've also just given out copies of my CRB certificate, the police clearance, and the tax clearance.
So if you have provided, I think we are good.
Yes.
Now I've seen you have a rich career. You have a serious professional. You have worked with several organizations, both locally and internationally. In conjunction with the same, I hope you have acquainted yourself with as per the salaries and remuneration pertaining the allowances paid to municipal board members, that it is a meager. What motivated you, or how do you see now? You have a rich professional. You have worked with several. With this meager, what motivated you? Secondly, and last, is that I know you have a traveler, and you have maybe visited several municipalities, both locally and internationally. Can you name one or two of those municipalities which, in your view, have done exemplary well, which we can borrow a leaf from, or we can benchmark, and even if this committee approves you, which is that one municipality you want to uplift Kericho Municipal Board to its standard? I think that marks the end of our session. If you answer that.
Thank you, Chair. On issues about what motivated me to come to the board, I know the SRC guidelines on allowances to the municipal board members, and I know it is not a lot of money. My motivation is giving back to the society, being able to do public good. So that is the major motivation. It is not that I was looking for employment. As I mentioned earlier, I left employment in 2017, and I'm doing my own personal consultancies, remote consultancies actually from 2017 up to then. More precisely, remote from 2020. because on and off to Nairobi between 2017 and 2020 before COVID-19. In terms of which municipalities I would really want us to possibly even, for example, visit, I was in Bangalore, India, and I think I like what they have done, and especially on issues of solid waste management. And I would recommend that we visit. Here locally, I love what the Mombasa municipality is doing, and we can learn one or two things from them. So maybe that is something that we can do at some point, and I should be able to arrange quite quickly either of them. Thank you.
Thank you. So, as per the mood of the committee, I don't think any member has any other further question. But if there is, you can say. But after that, we have come to conclusion of this session. Maybe I'll give you maybe 30 seconds or to 40 seconds, maybe to give final remarks before we bring this session to conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members. I just want to say asante sana. I love the session. It was very engaging, and I look forward to working for the Municipal Board of Kericho. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. So we have come to conclusion of this session. Maybe I am asking the Sergeant at Arms to clear the nominee and to see him off as you usher in the other nominee. Thank you. And all the best, Vincent.